This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I thought having to watch a movie like Blood Freak was bad enough. Computer Beach Party is supposed to be a romantic comedy, made back in 1987 and directed by Gary Troy, and combines the classic tropes and trappings of a 1960s beach movie, which I've never actually seen, with the latest and greatest computer technology available on the marketplace. At least, I guess that's what they were going for. What we get is more like a series of unrelated events, loosely connected by a bare-bones storyline, involving the town mayor trying to buy a beach in the hopes of finding buried treasure and a ragtag group of friends trying to stop him. And there's also the love story between the computer expert and the mayor's daughter. And, well, those are the only things that really make any sense in this movie. At the very least, there is an actual beach party. But, yeah, there really is nothing of actual story substance going on here. Much of the movie is taken up by filler material, whether it be the beach party, some subplot or story that goes absolutely nowhere, or in most cases a scene simply going on and on for longer than necessary without any cuts. It also doesn't help that none of it matters to whatever story or narrative is actually going on, to which I can say that if you did cut out that unimportant material, you'd probably have 15 to 20 minutes of an actual tighter story, which says a lot given how the whole movie is just short of being an hour long. I wouldn't even be surprised if that shorter version didn't bother with computers at all, because that's just how unimportant they are to everything going on. It goes without saying that the characters are just as weakly developed as the narrative, with personalities being set up in their first scenes and then sticking to that for the rest of the movie, with no development other than who kisses whom or who gets beat up before the end credits roll. Whatever attempts at mimicking old beach movies there are in here either fall flat, are made with no effort, or just mean that those old movies are just as bad as this. Again, I've never seen one, so I don't actually know what happens in them. Anyways, Computer Beach Party further goes on to insult the viewer by giving itself no sense of production value at all. Pretty much every scene is either shot on public property where you won't need permits, or where they thought they could get away without needing a permit, or in some small cramped office or home that was probably being borrowed from friends of the cast or crew, all of which seems to have been a cost-cutting measure to either pay the actors, pay for drugs, or pay for the actual beach party scenes. Those at least show that some money was spent, but it still also puts the haphazard production right on display when everybody being filmed seems to ignore that this is supposed to be a movie and treat it more like a music video. Anyways, if you think about the production in that kind of context, it makes sense that the other technical aspects are just as barely tolerable. From cinematography that amounts to little more than pointing the camera and shooting, to editing that, as said before, seems to have the goal of stretching things out rather than cutting things down. The film's audio is its own monster, with little, if any, natural or captured dialogue, and the rest either being ad-libbed and dubbed in post-production, or fading out entirely and letting the soundtrack take over. It's all just one big mess that can barely pass for a movie, and seems to have just been made more to justify spending a week on the beach and having a big party afterwards. Everything else in here is just for the filmmakers to pretend that they're doing something worthwhile with their time. Computer Beach Party, Gary Troy, 1987. Half a star. I don't recommend watching it at all. It's probably not even worth seeing in a group to make fun of it. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I'm actually a bit offended that the movie didn't go through with the computer aspect. I love seeing old tech being put to use, but this movie just didn't care.